Hello everyone, how are you all? It's Brian from Brian's Vlog. Um, I know there's not going to be anybody on the chat, but I'd rather do it live. And um, if you can support and like and share, there's also on the description there is a support page for what I'm about to talk about today, and it actually has been on my mind for probably about a couple of months, but more so within maybe the past week or 2 weeks. I think things have gotten a lot worse. So, what it is, and I really do hope that you will support it, and there is support there for you. So, those who don't know, I am Brian. I own Hannah Clothing Wear. I also have my own YouTube channel where I do vlogs, I do stuff on my business. But if something is really passionate about and it gets me annoyed, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. And if I have to speak my mind, not just for myself, but for others, then I will do it. And I will do whatever I can to try and find support so that you can actually see it and recognize that I have your back, that there's nothing holding me back, and expressing who I would like myself to sort of understand with you and let you know that I've got your back and I will look after you. So, what we are going to talk about is women and in abusive relationships and Andy Tate. So, why now, Brian? Well, I've always knew it's been a big issue, women and abusive relationships and women and abuse. But I think it's came to recognition that things are getting a lot worse and getting a lot better. So I think for myself, growing up with three sisters, being surrounded more with women than I have been with men, I think for me as a man and someone who has sort of seen bits and pieces of something like that, is I'm here to support you. And it's not just about my support, it's about trying to let anybody know who's in an abusive relationship. There are nice guys out there. It's about working hard and trying to get to know them. And you're actually talking to one. But forget about that. So I want to talk about Andy Tate. So Andy Tate has come out and he's talking to kids, young adults from 16 upwards, about controlling and more or less being abusive towards women. And to me, that sends a wrong message to future generations, future young people, about how their morals and standards should be with women. And I know it's not much different at the minute, but unfortunately, I'm not a father, but I am an uncle at least 12 times. And I could tell you now, if any of my nieces or nephews are in an abusive relationship or give abuse, they would know better. They would know better. Because I would go through them like 10 ton of bricks. And I would not be afraid to put them. I do know people within the police. And I would say to them, put them in the bar, behind bars for 24 hours, see how they feel. Because that's where you're going. So, as I say, about Andy Tate and what he's teaching young people, he's teaching them the whole demographic wrong values in women. He's trying to teach them, empower them, take control of them, and tell them how to run their lives. Like, treat them like a robot. They're not like that. God didn't create man and woman to be like that. He created them to be as equal as they can be. And more so now, a lot more women have felt empowered and control, and have actually been able to sort of step up to the plate and actually overpower men in some ways. So I have to say, fair play to you. For someone who has grown up with 3 sisters, I do have 2 brothers, but my side of the family, I've grown up with 3 sisters, and I've had a lot more respect for my sisters. So what I would say to you is, if there is a female role model that you have, look onto that and understand where they're coming from. If there's not, then try and find someone and try and look to them and see their responsibilities and what they're able to do each day and every day. So I have to say, for what Andy Tate is doing is wrong, and I just don't think it's right what he's doing, and I think it's a voice of opinion. His voice of opinion doesn't stand and shouldn't stand. So that's things on Andy Tate. On abusive relationships, it is complicated whenever you are in one. I've never been in one. Last time I was in a relationship was quite some time, but I've never ever wanted or been in any abusive relationship. Any time that I've been in one, I've always valued her beliefs, her mind, and her understanding, and she's valued mine. And if we have a tiff or we have anything like that, then we have it. It's done. It's dusted. We talk about it and move on. There's no abuse. There's no mental abuse. There's no verbal abuse. It's just we voice our opinion, state it, talk about it, leave it alone, and then once it's left alone for 5 to 10 minutes, we move on. That's it. Now, as I say, I can't experience or I can't say anything about abusive relationships. I've never been in one, but I could tell you now, whenever I hear about it, it actually chokes me up, because I know myself and as a person what I've been looking for within a relationship. And these women who are in abusive relationships, if you only met people like myself, kind, generous, honest, kind well-being, well thought of, and treat you as well as treating myself with respect, then you would understand a lot more. I know that whenever you are in an abusive relationship, sometimes you can't get away, that you're so congested and put into a corner that is very hard to get out of. I get that. I do get that. But I know it's easier said than done. But if there is a chance that you have a 10 or 15-second phone call, ring a friend, ring a helpline, or even if you have to, ring the police and get them and just say to them, I only have a certain amount of time, I need your help, come and get me. I know it will be hard to say that. I know it'll be very hard to even make time for that. But if you can, whenever you get the time, put that in state and put that in your mind and going, right, I have 2 minutes. He's away out for a smoke or something like that. Where's my phone? Or what can I do? Try, if you can, try and think 2 steps ahead. I know it'll be difficult. I get that. I know it can be very, very hard. But trust me, whenever you think of God, then you're ahead of Him. Like I know a couple of people who have actually recently have been in abusive relationships. And they've managed to get away. But it's messed with their minds. And I think what they're doing at the minute is they're doing that stuff because of what's happened. And I know sometimes whenever you are in something like that there, whenever you are going out with someone or you're in a relationship and it is abusive and you get out of it, it's hard to get out of that toxic environment. And whenever you seek freedom, you seek to rebel. And I just think some people sort of rebel in the different ways, and rebel, it's questionable. I understand that you have to rebel and you need to get away and you need to express who you are. Please understand that there is help there. And please understand there are friends that back you up. So that's what I could say to you about that there. And there is, as I say, there is a helpline there. And being in it, it can be very hard to get out of. But please try and get yourself out of it. I know it's easier said than done. And as I will repeat it. And I will always repeat it. It's easier said than done. I get that. But if you can, please state the facts that you do have support and you do have people around you. So how can you change? Changing is going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you. It's going to be hard for the kids if they're involved. And it's going to be hard for the environment that you set yourself up with. So what can you do? Well, as I state in this, there is a link to the helpline, Women's Aid, on here. And as I say, they are there for you. And as I say, they are constantly trying to help people out. Now, from where I am at the minute, now as far as I can gather, this was only over 7 to 10 days, and this is where I was. And I seen it on the news. Over 3,500 people within this country were in abusive relationships, and about nearly 400 of them got out and had to be separated in their homes. Now that's stats, and that's only just Christmas week. Those stats, it does hit me hard, and I say I do get it. I say I grew up with 3 sisters, and I will always, even with my sisters, I will always have their back. And if I see that they're in, I will question who they're involved with, and I will take literal action. No, I'll not do violence. I will not do violence, but I will take action. If I ever hear or see any of my nieces or any of my family in an abusive relationship, I could tell you now There'll be questions, there'll be accountable. So I can understand that you're looking at me and going, sure, you've never been in one. But the thing is, I have sisters, I have nieces, and if I hear that they're in that, I will do my utmost to make sure that they're out of it. And if they are not out of it, I will take drastic actions. So that's where my sisters have their support. And that's where my nieces have my support too. So that's about changing. Changing is how you do it yourself, how you are mentally, and what you do. So, just say, what makes it easier? Every day makes it easier because you're away from a person that is doing it to you. Making it easier for yourself is walking away from the problem, walking away from the issue. As I said to you earlier on, I get it. I understand it. But making it easier for yourself and walking away, that is the most biggest, and I would say the courageous obstacle you'll face whenever walking away from it. That would be the biggest thing. And that's where your support lines come in. That's where your mental health comes in. That's where the kids, you look at the kids and going, I need to get these kids away from this. I need to get away from this. Because if you don't, you could be killed. You could be killed. If a woman or a man is, say it's anybody, but I'm mainly speaking from women's point of view because it is on the rise. But from a woman's point of view, is battered so many times, the bones get deflected, they get battered and bruised, they get weak, and it can cause you to be killed. So try to walk away. Try to look out for yourself. And if they are involved, try to look out for the kids. So the last, I say, I don't want to make it too long, so it's close to 20 minutes. I'm trying to do the best I can because I say I'm trying to get the points out. And I say this whole thing about Andy Tate has annoyed me. I thought, how can it really has bothered me and it has got me worked up. And being a youth worker and stuff like that there and seeing things like this, I thought I have a public appearance. I have a voice. I want to speak it. So only speaking it is let me go onto my channel and speak of it. So that's what I'm doing. So what can you do next? Well, this is coming down to where I'm coming from my point of view. And this is where we are. Sometimes we are hard to find, but whenever we are there, we're there. It's kind, generous, honest people like ourselves. We mightn't be what you look for physically. Our appearance mightn't look good. But we're here. So we are here. And whenever people like us frowned upon, looked at dirt. We're not looked at and valued enough. And that's where, whenever there's women in abusive relationships, they are so scarred, they're not willing to take a chance. But that's where we can mend a lot of your broken heart. Why? We're affectionate, we're caring, we understand what you're going through. And the most obvious thing that you will get is 110% love. You will get real, honest love from people who are kind hearted and coming from a kind background. And those women who have been in abusive relationships, you can find people like us. We are not the perfect features. We are not the perfect role models. But what we have in here, in our hearts and in our mind, we're a lot stronger. And that's where, whenever it comes to sort of, would you ever go back out there again? That's where you find people like us. Because we will give you everything that you're worth. We will respect you for your individual personality. We will respect you if there is kids involved. We will respect the kids and understand there's a responsibility there. And the utmost, and I mean the utmost with any respect, you will get 110% love. Between affectionate, physical, and emotional. You will get that from people who are genuinely honest, kind, thoughtful people. So that is the key points whenever you are in an abusive relationship, is to try and get out. And whenever you do feel it's time and you want to get back out there again, don't look for the idiots. Don't look for the people that you've been with before. Try and find the kind, genuine, honest people that will give you everything that you desire, heart's desire. As I say, it mightn't be physically what you're looking for, but emotionally, they are worth more than any of those that you've been with before. So I just wanted to end it on that. And as I say, there is a link on the description underneath for the helplines. And if you are in one, share it with a friend, tag us with a friend. I'm not worried about anything like sort of views or anything. I don't give a rat's ass about that. I'm just stating my facts at the minute and what I see is a problem. I'm not worried about views. I'm not worried about anything like that. To be honest, I'm not really bothered. I just wanted to come on here because it's easier to do it this way. And I'd rather be a kind, honest, genuine person that states that he has your back, that he looks out for you. So he does. I have done well over 20 years of youth work, and I've seen some things. I've even seen abusive stuff. And trust me, whenever I hear about this, it speaks volume. It speaks my mind. I want you to look after yourselves. Please use the link. Or if you're not able to use that link, go into the details and type up Women's Aid, and they will help you. Okay? Look after yourselves. Enjoy your Sunday afternoon. And say, if you want to share and tag or whatever, it's up to you. But it's here. The video's here. And I want to thank you very much. All the best.